In some cases, property owners can no longer afford the cost of the house or flat. Bills or loans are no longer paid. Until one day a lender shows up at the door and demands a foreclosure with the accompanying auction. In this video, I will explain what a foreclosure auction is, how it works, and what advantages and disadvantages foreclosure auctions of real estates have. In addition, we give you tips on how you will be best prepared as a bidder if you plan to participate in an auction. Hi, my name is Sebastian, and in this channel we will show you how to buy a property in Germany. A forced sale is carried out on real estate that the owner can no longer manage financially. A creditor may foreclose on the debtor's property due to a monetary claim and unpaid bills or loans. The real estate that is foreclosed can be either a residential property, for instance houses or flats, but also undeveloped land, part ownership, or heritable building rights can be auctioned. Partial ownership describes used units that cannot be used for residential purposes but are in commercial use. With a heritable building right, a building can be constructed on someone else's plot. The respective district court in which land register district the property was registered is responsible for the compulsory auction itself. The local court also prepares an expert report containing the market value of the property and other available data. Market values are on the factors that determine the subsequent purchase price of a property. If you are interested in a property as a buyer and would like to acquire it in the form of an auction, you should prepare yourself well before the compulsory auction date. The following tips are advice that you can take and expand upon. First, research. It is advisable to do extensive research and find out which properties are available for an auction and whether the properties and offer match your own wishes and ideas. You can find all available foreclosure auctions at www.zvg-portal.de free of charge. There is no need to pay any third party to get data from there. You can check for auction dates in your region and also sort by asset classes, for instance. These websites also give you access to valuations and further informations like the contact information of the creditor. You should also think about your potential maximum bid in advance. In other words, to what extent are you prepared to finance the property and how far you want to bid. If you have come across a suitable property during your research, you should obtain existing information on the property before the auction date. You can find this information in the extract from the land register and in the valuation report. The extract from the land register lists all encumbrances in the form of inherited burdens or special rights of use of the property. The appraisal report is provided by the local court responsible for it. It contains details on the location, construction, market value, and other data and information on the property. Properties offered for sale by compulsory auction usually cannot be inspected from the inside. The local court only allows the property to be inspected from the outside. In addition, the owners often still live in these properties and, for various reasons, do not want interested parties to view the property from the inside. Nevertheless, take a look at the property from the outside and also the neighborhood and immediate surroundings if you are not yet familiar with them. Where is the property located, and is the location of the property perhaps rather quiet and in the middle of the countryside, or rather near a motorway and in the center of a large city? Prospective buyers should have secured financing options before the auction date and clarified all necessary aspects in this regard. This is essential as you will have to deposit 10% of the market value of the property after an initial bid. This constitutes a security deposit. But you also need to know that a lot of banks are not doing finance for properties who are in foreclosure. Preparing the financing plan is the most important part because you have to pay the price if you are the winner of the auction, even if you don't have a mortgage prepared. Then the court will sue you to pay, and I guess you don't want to be in such a situation. You should definitely have a valid identity card like a passport with you for the appointment. In addition, the security deposit of 10% is important and should be able to be guaranteed by check or payment to the court's bank account in advance. If you would like to purchase the property but are unable to bid in person at the auction, your representative will need proof of representation as security. After the creditor's application, a date is set for the forced sale of the property. The exact date can be obtained from the competent district court or can be found on the internet. If all the necessary documents are available as a bidder for the date, and if the bidder is over 18 years of age, he or she can take part of the auction. The local court will reveal a minimum bid at the compulsory auction. Afterwards, the auction takes place within a period of 30 minutes. If it is difficult to generalize how many interested parties bid on average. Depending on the location, condition and price of the property, it can be individuals, a handful or a whole room filled with bidders. The highest bid must be at least 70% of the market value. If this is not the case, the second date is set for the auction. In the second appointment, you may be possible to buy the property for just 30% of the bank value, but that depends on the case and can't be said in general. All cases are different, and in the end, the creditor can negate bids too. In addition, sometimes lawyers of the owners take part of the auction and try to take impact on the process. A property that can be acquired by auction has the advantage that purchasers do not have to pay notary fees or an estate agent's commission. In addition, the selling price of the highest bidder can be lower than the market value of the property. In this context, appraisals can be viewed in detail at the respective local court and read through at leisure. A decisive disadvantage of forced sale is that the property cannot be officially inspected. You can look at the property from the outside, but in most cases you are not allowed to look at the property or the interior. This means that it is not possible to assess whether there are, for example, significant defects in the interior that will cause high costs after the purchase. In addition, bidders should think carefully about which bid they make during the auction. This is because every bid is binding and cannot be withdrawn afterwards. Purchasers should also be aware that the property may not be ready for immediate occupation after the purchase because the former owner or tenants may still be living there. In addition, most banks don't offer mortgages for properties from foreclosures due to the former risks. In short, research, information at the local court, clarification of the financial security, and procurement of documents are important elements for prospective buyers to obtain a high bid at the auction and, in the best case, to purchase the property in the end. Nevertheless, compulsory auctions should be well considered, researched and prepared. As a bidder, you should therefore protect yourself and also be clear about the disadvantages of the property to be acquired. You should also carefully consider whether there might not be the other ways to acquire a property that is guaranteed to be free of defects.